Here at the Border Hotel, Kirk, Yetholm, about to start Scottish National Trail. Quite a pleasant wee village. The clock is ticking. Wonderful to be walking after months of peering at spreadsheets and planning. The journey is underway. Short section of road walking, then up over those hills. I couldn't have hoped for a better start than this. Absolutely lovely conditions, lovely and warm in the sun. Been following St Cuthbert's Way so far. Looking back to Kirk Yetholm and the way ahead. I think the second pint of the trip awaits in that village up ahead. Just over 13k done today, but same to do again, maybe a little bit more. The rather impressive ruins of Cessford Castle. It would be quite a nice place to camp if I didn't need to get further today. Over 20k in now, just looking for somewhere sunny and sheltered to have a bite to eat before doing my final shift to Deer Street, the Roman road. Found a nice wee spot. A fine tree. Long woodland section finished today. It's proving tricky to find a campsite about here, although that bit might be alright. Anyway, I've decided to press on a bit further with some more promising terrain with a small loch up behind this next band of trees, so might as well get the K in while the going's good. Found this comfortable little spot just after 10 last night. It's now 25 to 7, going to get on the go as soon as possible. Another lovely morning. I've now finished all my water, so on the lookout for some, which perhaps won't be until I get to Newton St Boswell's, where I plan to stock up with some lunch stuff, or maybe just brunch stuff, because I can then restock up again in Melrose. Fair maiden Liliard lies under this stain, little was her stature, but muckle was her fame. Upon the English loons she laid mony thumbs, and when her legs were cutted off, she fought upon her stumps. So, there you go, that must be the grave of Iliard. And this here is the edge referred to in the sign. That's where I'm heading over there. Newton St Boswells will be the further away of those settlements. Then I visit the co-op, get some provisions in. But to get there I walk down this road for a bit and then have a, well, looks like a lovely riverside stroll to get there. Quite nervous about today. This is really the test of the plan. I want to be able to make it to Peebles. If I can do that, then I'm on track for my 15 days. If not, I may have to think again. But up nice and early, off to a good start, so I just have to keep on plodding on and see how far I get. Descending into the river gorge. Out at the proper river now. And a beautiful little spring there. Quite a spot here. Pleasant town of St Boswells. A resupply option, but I've already decided I'm going to head into Newton St Boswells. Back beside the river. Resupply point, Newton St Boswells. Somewhat disappointing co-op, no fresh pastries and no Costa coffee machine, so I couldn't get my morning pastries and large latte I was hoping for. But I do have a nice bench outside, so I'm going to make some tea and eat the last of the sausages and eggs I brought from home. I did purchase some pineapple chunks, which should go down very well. Leaving Newton St Boswells on a minor road, and those shapely peaks which have been distant up until now, I'm about to go over them, I believe. A bit of excitement there. Just arrived at a junction in time to see a woman approaching from another direction, being bucked off her horse into a patch of nettles. But she seemed to be fine, she got up okay. Obviously didn't want too much chat about it, embarrassed at having been seen getting kicked off her horse, but well, a dangerous game. Up at the pass through the Eildon Hills, looking back down the trail towards the Cheviots over on the left. A couple of these shapely peaks to come back for another time. And away ahead to Melrose, where I'm going to have a pit stop. Melrose. Just took a pit stop at the co-op here in Melrose, so I'll show you what I bought. Hopefully enough to do me for the rest of today and tomorrow until about lunchtime, when I can stock up again in West Linton or Balerno. So I reckon that's over 3,000 calories, and I've got these 4 pastries and a coffee, so that should be absolutely fine. Looks like I'm transitioning now onto the Southern Upland Way. Tweed Bank station. Got my bus there yesterday. Just blasting past now. That could have been the very train I got off. That last video was the wrong way. This is the right way now. Up over towards those cairns. I stopped for a brew, a wee burn, and I've eaten most of that hummus and that big pack of dried cured ham. So I'm going to have a wee lie down for a few minutes while my tea is cooling down, and then knock out this last, whatever it is, 25, 30k. Descending to the Tweed again. Crossing the Tweed once again. And I think it's fair to say that the full gravity of this is beginning to dawn on me. Still got a long way to go. Let's find out how much. That's 37k done. So I'm doing at least another 21k, ideally another 26k. It's coming up for 4 o'clock, so I do still have time to complete all this walking, and I've fueled up thoroughly, so I should be able to keep going without halting too much. But this is a big test. Not only have to be able to hit this mileage today, but also every other day. So if I'm to finish on my aggressive schedule, I'll need to smash out today and be feeling fit enough to do it again tomorrow. And I think that's quite possible. Arriving at the Three Brethren. Hopefully that's the last major climb for today. Still feeling pretty good energy otherwise, so legs feel okay. Gonna stop at a spring up ahead. Fill up my water bottle, perhaps eat something. I think this might be the last view back, so stopping to savour it. You can see those yielding hills, the hills right in the background below which I started. Yeah, quite a spot up here. Heading down now into this forest via the spring. I've come to accept that this is my lot. I'm going to be half jogging late into the evening every night for the next fortnight or so, which is fine because I do like a bit of jogging and running, but no doubt there will be dips in energy, periods of low mood, periods where it feels impossible. Bad weather, biting insects, But I really do think I can continue pushing on and complete today's plan and then do something similar tomorrow. The Cheese Well, a lovely wee spring on the hillside above Inverlael. Go and have a drink and a bite to eat here. Inverlael up ahead. That's us about 52k into this, so getting towards the end. I think I may stay at the campsite in Peebles. Getting there. The final march into town along an old railway line. That's the tent up in Peebles at the Rosetta campsite just after 11 o'clock. Very tired. Well, that was a pleasant enough night at the Rosetta campsite. 6:30, ready to set off into the rain. Feels good to be on the move nice and early. Not too far to go to West Linton, where I will purchase some breakfast foods, and then on to Balerno, and then the bit I'm most nervous about actually in this whole thing, which is the central belt. So thinking I might push on to Ratho, maybe a bit past Ratho. If you go past Ratho you get into Broxburn. Not sure what the wild camping's like in Broxburn. Anyway, I expect today is going to be a similar kind of day of just walking all day and then get the tent up at 10 or 11 o'clock, quick kip and then repeat. But soon I will be through the central belt and then the trip can really begin in earnest. Last view of Peebles. I think those are the Pentland Hills I can see on the horizon there. And the last barrier I have to cross before Edinburgh. A couple of tents down there. First backpackers I've seen so far. Approaching West Linton. Again, no coffees or pastries in that co-op, so I bought myself some cold meat and some eggs, and we'll just crack on to Balerno. Interesting collection of huts. Starting the crossing of the Pentlands now. The North Esk Reservoir. That was a fantastic wee lunch stop. Had a short lie down, and best of all, found a bucket, so I was able to give myself a nice freshen up with some soap and discharge my soapy water away from the reservoir. So feeling fresh, got clean talcum powdered feet, fresh socks and clean armpits and clean bum and privates, so all is good with the world. Shoal of little fishes. Camping going on down the reservoir and some folk in the bird hide, so I'm glad I kept myself to myself at the jetty. Now this is very exciting. First glimpse of the southerly Munros, the Forth Bridges and Edinburgh itself. And the last view back towards the borders. So I really enjoyed the borders. It was tougher than expected. A lot of ascent and descent, but still on a 15-day pace, if anything slightly ahead of 15-day pace, and still physically in good condition, so it's looking good. Partial success in Balerno there. I didn't check Google Maps early enough and missed the pub, so I didn't get a pint. I did go to the co-op though and got myself a Magnum, some hummus, some yogurt, some nuts, a bit of chocolate. I have the opportunity to stock up again at Slateford, so just gonna bash on, get into Edinburgh and get a pint in there. Right, just had a lovely 2 pints of Guinness with George, ready to hit the road again. On the way through it. Arrived in Edinburgh. Canal time. Going to be doing a lot of canal side walking. The bridge inn. Let's be having some of that. Camped up in the grounds of a school a few k past Rathel. Really nowhere to camp down beside that canal at all. Just really tall, thick weeds everywhere. No flat ground, but this will be a good spot for tonight, and wonderfully there are no midges about at all. But I'm going to get my head down and get up even earlier tomorrow, see if I can actually get my 65k done and finish at a decent time at night. But that is for tomorrow. Now is time for sleep. Nice camp last night. Slept very well despite the noise of the nearby motorway. Time to get back on that canal and get heading to Milgai. Pounding the canal at 6 o'clock in the morning. Getting quite efficient now. Blackburn. Right up alongside these tailing hills now. At least I assume they're tailings. Or slag heaps or whatever they actually are. A bucky bottle bobbing in the canal. Right, need to negotiate my way around these signets. Tuk tuk. Definitely in the Buckfast triangle here. We're in Lithgow with the palace visible up the trees. Stop for a bit of a kind of brunch. 10:15. Picked this spot because it's nice and wide and there's a water tap there. And a lot of this canal is really quite narrow and hard to find somewhere to spread out the mat, roll it out and have a wee nap. Seem to have lost the ability to speak. A quite impressive Avon aqueduct. The Grangemouth oil refinery reminds me of when I used to work in Grangemouth in a previous life. View opening up to the Campsies and the higher hills beyond gives me some hope that this canal walking will eventually end. This is the Falkirk Tunnel, which is 635 metres long. Nice bit of variety. Seems to be raining at this end of the tunnel. Closing in on the Falkirk wheel, although it is taking a while to get there. There's the Falkirk wheel. Arriving at the Falkirk wheel, where I'm hoping to find some kind of cafe. A big boat full of tourists just emerged from the wheel, so that's an encouraging sign. Right, starting another canal. Union Canal finished, Forth and Clyde coming up. Bonnie Bridge. On and on the canal goes. Much more open canal side scenery up here. Approaching Kilsyth now, and definitely had quite enough of this canal walking. So I've done about 50k, just coming up for 5:30, so should comfortably hit my 65k today. But the thing which is preoccupying me now is the thought of getting to Kirk and Loch, pop into McDonald's, eat a load of burgers. Auchenstary Marina. I didn't know there was a marina in Auchenstary as well as a crag. And there it is. I've noticed over the last few days that for the evening shift I'm far more inclined to break into a kind of half jog type thing. I don't actually think it's any faster than just a brisk walk, but it obviously uses really different muscles, so it just becomes, it's like a totally new gear to shift into. It's not as fatigued as the regular walking muscles. I could really do finding a campsite soon. These canals are just terrible for it though, just all that thick, jaggy vegetation. But there is a golf driving range coming up in a bit, so that's bound to have some nice short grass. Not the best camp spot last night, but I've had some sleep and I'm up and ready for action. On the go very early this morning, about 5:20, so might actually hit Mulgai a bit too early, but I'll go and see anyway. Lovely morning by the canal, although I must admit I'm feeling slightly canaled out. Yeah, that would have been a nice place for a pint last night, the stables, but I was simply too tired for a pint. body is definitely still cooperating, so still feeling quite fresh, not short of energy. Gave my feet a proper clean with soap last night and a bit of talcum powder, so they're feeling slightly tender after all this hard surface. It'd be nice to get on some more mixed surfaces today, but all in all, things are going well. If the first day was day 0, this is now day 4. So hoping to get up towards calendar today. Here at the site of the Cador Roman fort. This might have made a better camping spot, but as you can probably hear in the background, there is still a lot of noise. Tractor or something nearby. Time to say farewell to the canal. That's the source of the noise from the Roman fort. This is wonderful not to be on a canal towpath anymore. Pit stop in Mulgai. You okay, little guy? Hello, little matey. Stopped in Drimmen for a bit of lunch. Quite a long section of road walking here, which I wasn't expecting, but I'll be turning off it soon. I grabbed some gas in Drimmen there because I knew I could get some in Aberfoyle, but I'm not sure I'll be there before the shop closes. And similarly, I'll be in Calendar after anything there closes. And quite possibly I'll be passing through Cymru before anything opens. So if I hadn't grabbed that, I might have run out of gas. I've now got no gas fear whatsoever. Disappointingly, the forest road is also tarmac, but hopefully it will run out soon. An interesting item of some sort there. I'm finding this quite tough this afternoon, but I think I've just broken through into a bit of a second wind. I think it's going to be another late one if I'm to get my 65, but right now I am feeling committed to racking up another 65. But in the short term, I'm going to be in Aberfoyle in a few K, and I'm going to have a sit down and a bit of a relax while I'm there and get fully recharged for the final blast over the hill to Callander. Entering Aberfoyle, where I have a co-op and hopefully a bar. Recharging body, mind and electronics here in Aberfoyle. So this morning we started out on the far side of that distant range of hills that we'll soon be losing sight of. A view to Loch Venachar, which is a good sign.